We'll call to order the City of Douglasville City Council regular voting meeting for tonight, which is Monday, August the 7th, 2023. Our invocation will be done by Reverend Orlando Evans, Senior Pastor of the Bright Star United Methodist Church. After that, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by the Mayor Pro Tem, City Councilmember Terry Miller. Please stand for the invocation.
Greetings, Mayor Robinson, council members, and guests. Today we'll draw inspiration from Psalm 32, verse 8, which tells us, "I will instruct you and teach you the way you should go." As we enter the season of back to school, I pray that we experience more than educators preparing lesson plans, staff investing in the well-being of our children, and students exploring academic and athletic possibilities. My hope and prayer is that our community will enroll in a deeper relationship with the Lord, one where God will develop and shape us, lead and guide us, and instruct and teach us through the richness of His Word. Let us pray. Gracious God, thank you for being the one who continues to mold us in your wisdom, refine us in your love, and reveal to us hidden truths as we yield our hearts, our minds, and our souls to you. Form us into the leaders that you have called us to be during this season. Counsel us in your truth and allow us to be vehicles of positive change as we honor you. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, as always, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, for leading us in the pledge. And Pastor Evans, we appreciate that prayer and invocation. Thank you so much. My name is Rochelle Robinson. I'm mayor of the City of Douglasville. Welcome to our voting meeting. This meeting will go a little bit differently than the one that we had on last Thursday, but I'll go over the protocol just the same. I'd like to welcome you again to our meeting. This is the City Council regular meeting of agenda items where official action will be taken tonight on the items that were discussed last Thursday at our work session. If the business you are here for is not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time under the agenda items, comments from citizens and delegates section for you to discuss your business, and you have 5 minutes to talk to us about any business that is germane to the City of Douglasville. I ask that you please keep your comments and presentations on a professional level, dealing with the facts that are important for this governing body to make our decisions. We will not take or consider comments that are considered to be of a personal attack against any individual or group of individuals. And if you receive a warning from the chair, if you deviate from that, you'll receive a warning from the chair. The second infraction, we will turn your microphone off because we are a city of civility. We treat people how we want to be treated, with respect. Only one person speaking at a time. Please do not applaud or speak or react from the audience. When you're at the microphone, you can certainly talk while you're at your seats, but if you're at the microphone, we ask that you would speak in the microphone and address all of your comments to the committee chairperson. We're only required to accept public comments on public hearings, and if you have a cell phone or electronic device, I ask that you would please turn those off or put those on silent mode so they will not be disruptive during the meeting. Now, this is how the agenda items will be handled. The committee chairperson will read that agenda item, and then that person representing that agenda item or applicant will make his or her presentation. Tonight, we have already heard all the agenda items in our work session. Tonight, we will only accept comments that are new information from the applicant and or citizens. Myself and council members will possibly ask clarifying questions based on new information or any information that we did not bring up on last Thursday. And again, like it was last week, each side has 20 minutes. 20 minutes for those in favor of the item and 20 minutes for those in opposition, and individuals have 5 minutes to speak. Now, when you come to the podium, please give us your name and address for the record, and then you have 5 minutes to talk to us about anything that's in particular pertaining to that item. There are cards outside that you should have filled out. They're blue cards. You write your name and address, hand those to Ms. Vicki Acker, the city clerk, to my right, and then you can come and ask your question. This is not a debate format. We're just really here to hear the information, deliberate, and make our decisions, and/or we'll refer you to city staff if we don't have the answer for you tonight. If you have printed material, please hand that to Ms. Acker again, our city clerk, and she will make copies and disseminate the information to myself and council members. Again, that's a lot of information. Hopefully, we're all on the same page. Now we will move on with the agenda that's printed. There are some outside paper agendas, and/or you can follow us on the screen as we go through our meeting tonight. So those are the announcements. We do not have any presentations. We'll move on then to item number 5, which is approval of the agenda. I will open the floor for a motion for the adoption of the regular meeting agenda for tonight, which is August 7th, 2023.
So moved.
Thank you so much, Councilman Adams. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved and second to adopt the regular meeting for tonight. Do we have any comments, questions, or concerns from council members? I don't see any. All those in favor of adopting this agenda, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. This agenda is adopted for tonight's meeting. We'll move on then to the minutes of the approval of the minutes of July 13th, 2023, legislative work session, and the minutes of July 17th, 2023, which is our regular meeting and executive session. Open the floor for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Adams. It's been properly moved and second, moved by Councilman Estes and approved by Councilmember Adams to approve the minutes, item 23-320. Do we have any comments, corrections, concerns for the minutes? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-320 is unanimously approved. Now we'll move down to the consent agenda. I open the floor for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Thank you. Did you get it, Ms. Acker? Councilman Estes, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Adams. It's been properly moved and second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any corrections or concerns? See, you have IT going. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The consent agenda is approved, items A through H. Now we'll move on to the next committee, which is Economic Development Committee, and that's chaired by Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business under the Economic Development Committee at this time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Finance Committee, chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A couple of items tonight under Finance. The first is to authorize the mayor to sign a proposal agreement with Denice Companies Incorporated for the digital signing a wayfinding project. Ms. Alicia Mann will update us on that. We had discussion on it on Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Mann, do you have additional information or any questions or comments that you need to include?
I do not have any additional information at this time.
Okay. Any questions or comments from Madam Mayor or from the council concerning this item? None? Okay, we'll move along. Ms. Mann, we thank you very much. Seeing none, then I'll make a motion that we approve item 23-253.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Davis. It's been properly moved by the chair, Councilmember Adams, and second by Councilmember Samuel Davis to approve item 23-253. Do we have any concerns, questions, comments as relates to this item about the wayfinding signs? I don't see any from the elected body. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-253 is unanimously approved.
Item B, appoint the current chairs of the following, and I apologize, having a hard time here. Appoint the current chairs of the following three committees to
IT.
serve as the City of Douglasville's representatives on the Tax Allocation District Advisory Committee, the Finance Committee Chair, the Legislative and Intergovernmental Committee Chair, and the Economic Development Committee Chair. Ms. Callen, did you have anything additionally to add?
No, sir, nothing additional.
Can we protest any of that?
No, we haven't.
Slowest man out of the room.
Can I make a motion to deny?
No, sir.
It's sort of like not being at the meeting, so you get chosen, okay. All right, questions, comments? No question or comment? I make a motion, we approve item 23-321.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We had a dueling second. Did you get it? Mr. Estes, it's been approved by the Chair, Councilman Adams, and second by Councilmember Estes to approve item 23-321. Do we have any additional comments? And we're accepting all of these nominations. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-321 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all that we have tonight under finance.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on to the next committee, which is Housing and Community Affairs Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Dr. LaShawn Verdanley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Legislative and Intergovernmental Committee, chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
No business at this time, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Councilman Davis. Personnel and Organization Committee, chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight in Personnel and Organization.
Thank you, Coach. We'll move on then to the next committee. I know we have a lot of business. We're going to take a breath. For item 13 is Planning and Development Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First of all, on item A, I'll make a motion that we remove from the table item 23-283. That's item tonight, 23-293. Motion to remove from the table.
Thank you so much. Mr. Chairman, we have a motion to remove item 23-283 from the table. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved in second to remove from the table. Item 23-283, do we have any concerns as it relates to this item? If not, all those in favor of removing this item from the table, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion is unanimously approved to remove item 23-283 from the table.
Having removed that from the table, then we'll go on to item B, table from July 17th, 2023. Consider a request for development plan approval for the StoreQuest Storage Development for approximately 4.419 acres on Malone Road, land lots 704, 705, District 1, Section 3, parcel ID number 07050130008, plans dated April 14, 2023, application by the William Warren Group Incorporated, James Gordon and Chad Riddle, Senior Project Manager, Bowler Engineering. Good afternoon, sir. Do you have information for us?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I have no further information at this time.
Okay. Questions or comments concerning this item? I know it was tabled. We have brought it back off the table now and just want to make sure that there are no changes. There's nothing that's different than what was brought to us last time. It is a development plan that's up for approval. Has anything changed as far as the city or the applicant's information?
No, I'm James Gordon from 6701 Church Street, and the staff still remains recommend approval with two conditions, one being the facade, and the other condition is that the applicant must get an exemption plat for the property.
Same as the conditions that were in place on the original application. Is that correct, Mr.
Correct.
Gordon?
That's the same information.
Okay. And everything else is within specification and requirement that the city's UDO requirements for that development?
That's correct. This development is in compliance with the current UDO.
Okay. Thank you. Questions, comments, council, Madam Mayor, anyone? Okay. Seeing none then, I make a motion that we approve item 23-283 with the conditions that were applied in the original request.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved by the chair, Councilman Adams, and second by Councilmember Watts to approve item 23-283 with the special conditions that are recommended by staff. Do we have any additional comments, questions, or concerns? Anyone have anything to say about this item? Yes, ma'am. Dr. Verdanley.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Chairman Adams. We have, as a council member in Ward 3, I've listened to the constituents very carefully on your comments, and I just want to say thank you for your comments and your concerns. Nothing else, Madam Mayor.
Okay. I made a motion for approval. There was a second. Is that correct, Madam? Mayor?
Yes, sir. Any other comments or concerns, questions? If not, all those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Ms. Acker, did you get 3? And Mayor Pro Tem? Okay. Majority rules, then the item passes by majority. 23-283 is approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Moving on to item C, consider a request for development plan for a townhouse development for approximately 11.78 acres on West Strickland Street, land lots 192 and 193, District 2, Section 5, parcel ID 0193025A004, plans dated July 7th, 2023. Application by George Hovis and SEH Holdings, LLC. Mr. Thompson?
Marcus Thompson, City Engineer, 6701 Church Street. Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. I
Good
have no
evening.
additional information at this time. Are there any additional questions or concerns?
Anyone have any question or comment? Again, a development plan approval request. No public hearing. I would like to say that I'm impressed with the collaboration between the developer and what has turned out to be the Cultural Arts Council, correct? Is that right? CAC? It's going to be, I believe, gifted this property, is that correct as far as?
Oh, this, the share house.
I'm sorry, share house.
Yes, sir.
My apologies. I didn't have that in my notes. But that, I really appreciate them working together to make that possible, that that home would be preserved. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I make a motion that we approve item 23-310.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Davis. It's been properly moved in second, moved by the Chair, Councilman Adams, and second by Councilmember Samuel Davis to approve item 23-310 with no special stipulations. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-310 is unanimously approved with the house going, keeping that historic home to donate it to the share house.
Moving on to item D, consider a request for development plan approval for a medical building on approximately .92 acres on Doris Road in land lot 50. District 1, Section 5, parcel ID number 005-001-50115 and 005-001-50116 for plans dated June 16, 2023. Application by the Coaction Development Group. Again, Mr. Thompson?
Again, I do not have any additional information at this time. Are there any questions or concerns?
Comments? Council? Madam Mayor?
No, sir.
This is two tax ID numbers. Mr. Thompson, is this a lot that is being combined, two being combined into one?
Yes, sir, and that's one of the conditions that I have stated.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that that was the case. And everything is in order as far as the development plan being within specifications of our requirements?
Yes, sir, minus the conditions.
Okay.
Set forth.
Anyone? Okay. Make a motion then on item D, item 23-311, that we approve. I don't have it on my screen, Ms. Acker.
Okay, thank you so much, Councilman, Mr.
Yeah.
Adams, to a motion to approve item 23-311 with the special staff recommendations to relocate the transformer and provide a minimum turning radius and combine parcels, a couple of parcels. So those were the staff recommendations. So we have a motion to approve. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. It's been properly moved in second to approve item D, 23-311. Do we have any additional comments, concerns, or questions from council members? I don't see anyone. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-311 is unanimously approved.
Moving on to item E, consider a request for change in zoning from PUD Planned Unit Development District for 21.15 acres located on Slater Mill Road, land lot 80, District 1, Section 5, parcel ID number 50047. Application by Planners and Engineers Collaborative, care of Ken Wood. Ms. Jackson.
Hello, Marissa Jackson, Planning and Zoning Administrator, 6701 Church Street. Since last meeting, staff has made some amendments to the proposed conditions. Staff would like to propose an amendment to condition 15 to read, "There shall be a 6-foot opaque fence to screen between the proposed development and the general commercial uses to the north in unincorporated Douglas County."
Pardon me, I'm sorry. Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Exactly what does this change? In other words, what are we taking out, or what are we not requiring, just so that everyone is clear?
The other condition from the meeting on Thursday had a 25-foot buffer and an 8-foot opaque fence. So we removed the condition for the 25-foot buffer and reduced the fence height to 6 feet to match the fence height in condition 8.
So all the fence heights then on 3 sides of the development would be 6 feet?
Yes,
And any buffer that would be required would be on the commercial zone property that it abuts to that sits in the county?
yes, that is the intent.
That was a discussion that we had, I think, on Thursday night about requiring this developer to have a buffer and a fence.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Questions, comments? I know that there were several comments that had been made and several questions asked. Madam Mayor, you had a question. Is this a question of the developer or of staff?
This is just a question for clarity.
Okay.
So item 15 says, and you probably just said it, 25-foot buffer and 8-foot opaque fence. So something about 6 and 8.
So we removed the condition for the 25-foot buffer, so that's no longer applicable. And then we reduced the fence height from 8
8.
feet to 6 feet.
Okay, it still reads, unless I need to refresh my, is it
Yes,
still?
yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. We made these conditions very recently, so they might not be updated on your version yet, but that is what staff is proposing.
So when we sign in a few minutes after, if it approves, out of these 22 conditions, is that going to be lined out and it's red and the new wording, or what's going on?
I would defer to the city clerk.
And that will be redone tomorrow, retyped in there for number 15.
Okay. So we won't be signing it tonight.
Correct.
Okay, thank you so much.
Other
Mr.
questions or
Chairman. Thank you.
comments? Coach Watt, did you have a question?
So this item right here, we will sign off on it tonight.
Yes.
That was the word.
Yes.
Thank you.
If approved, that's correct. Any other changes, Ms. Jackson?
No, sir.
I believe that was something that the developer had requested that we not require as far as the buffer, because we had not required that in the past on residential, our residential.
That is correct.
That would then place the responsibility on the developer to work with the county on the property abutting this, if they so chose to try to make sure of a buffer for that development.
That is
On
correct.
that side of the property line, okay. It would also simplify the situation with the fence being on the property line, so that they would have, the homeowners would have control of all their property up to their fence.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the requirement is for the developer to install this fence?
Yes, sir. That is the intent, that the
Okay.
developer would
Okay.
install the fence.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Ready to make a motion? Okay. Seeing none, I make a motion then that we approve item 23-081, including the conditions that were stated, along with the changes that were made today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Watts. It's been properly moved by the chair, Councilman Adams, and second by Councilmember Watts to approve item 23-081 with the 22 conditions by staff and the correction for item 15 as stated by the chair and Ms. Jackson. Any other comments or concerns? Oh, we don't have citizens right now.
Oh, ma'am.
Okay, all those, the elected body, all those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Okay. What is is it 4-2? 4-3? Did you all vote?
Mr. Davis has not.
What's my count, Ms. Acker?
I didn't vote.
You abstaining?
I sustained. I
You-
didn't vote.
You're abstaining, so it was 4-2 and 1 abstention. Is that correct? Okay. So by majority, this item is approved. Item 23-081 is approved by majority.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Move on to item F. Consider request for change in zoning from GC General Commercial to Light Industrial for approximately 13.43 acres at the intersection of Bright Star Road and Bright Star Connector, land lot 163, District 2, Section 5. Parcel ID is 01630250023 and 01630250024. Application by Planners and Engineers Collaborative, care of Ken Wood. Ms. Jackson.
Yes, sir. So staff would like to propose an amendment to conditions 1 and 2 to read, there shall be a 6-foot fence to screen between the proposed development and the general commercial uses to the south in unincorporated Douglas County.
Is this in keeping, Ms. Jackson, with what we've done just in the last item, because you have different property? Who is the property owner? Is it a residential property owner that abuts this in the county?
It is a place of worship,
Okay.
and a place of assembly.
Okay.
Yes.
And it is in the county, is that correct?
Yes, it is in the jurisdiction of unincorporated Douglas County.
I understand that there was talk, or there was potentially a request for a buffer there also?
There was, we reevaluated the site plan. There is a gas line easement that's already going to have to function as a buffer at that location. So staff is recommending to just have a fence instead.
Okay, is this, I'll ask the applicant, Mr. Wood, is this something that would be considered if you want to come forward and address that change in that particular condition?
Kenneth Wood, 350 Research Court, Peachtree Corners, Georgia. Yes, we had proposed the 6 feet. We were always good with if it needs to be a single fence. What we had shown on an exhibit was to do evergreens, but we're fine either way, a fence or evergreens. We're just trying to comply with that height.
Yes, and this, of course, being given consideration because you have a 50-foot gas line easement on their property
That's right.
already. I mean, there's a no disturb area there.
That's right.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that, if whatever action we take. Questions, comments? Anyone have any question of the developer or any question of staff? Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Coach.
So the traffic signal, is that part of the recommendations? Or have we got to that point yet?
We need to ask that question. I think the developer had agreed to a pro rata deposit according to their square footage of a donation toward a traffic signal, should that traffic signal be required at some point in the future. And that is still on the table, is that correct, as one of the conditions?
Yeah, so we have the signage that we talked about with the no, with trucks must turn right. And then we have also basically the development agreement where we calculated all the industrial in the area and that we would pay the pro rata at the LDP.
Okay. So, Coach, it sounds as though they're willing to do that as a condition, yes. And that is in the conditions, is that correct, Ms. Jackson?
That is correct.
Thank you. Other questions or comments? Thank you, Coach. Okay, seeing none then, I make a motion that we approve item 23-220.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. It's been probably moved and second, moved by the committee chair, Councilmember Adams, and second by Councilmember Estes to approve item 23-220 with the stipulations that were, that are printed and that were talked about by Ms. Jackson. Any other comments or questions as relates to this item? Thank you. I don't hear any from the elected body. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-220 is unanimously approved.
Item G. Consider request for a special land use permit for an event center for property zoned NC Neighborhood Commercial, being approximately .55 acres at 8709 Hospital Drive, Land Lot 50, District 1, Section 5. Parcel ID number 005-001-50105, application by Kimberlite Event Space, care of Kimberly Melson. Ms. Jackson?
I do not have any updates on this item since last meeting.
Okay. Is there any question or comment that, is the applicant here? Just in case we had questions of the applicant, are they present tonight?
Yes,
Okay.
she's here.
Okay. Is there anyone that has a question or comment of the applicant or of staff? Go ahead, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I understand we did have a citizen that wanted to talk about the parking, and from my understanding that the owner owns the adjacent buildings, and so they were exempt from getting permission from themselves to have a 20-year agreement for parking.
That's my understanding, that the owner of the adjacent property is also the owner of this property that we are considering the special land use permit renewal for.
Yes, sir.
So they would not have to give themselves permission to allow someone to
The
use
park.
that for parking.
Yes,
So
sir.
that problem goes away, does it not, Ms. Jackson?
That's accurate, yes, sir.
All righty. Other questions or comments?
That's all I had.
Okay. Anything else? Good enough. Thank you, Ms. Jackson. We'll go forward then and make a motion for item 23-161 that we approve.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. I had dueling seconds. Ms. City Clerk, was it Mr. Watts or Mr. Davis? Mr. Coach Watts. So we have a motion by Councilmember Adams and second by Councilmember Watts to approve item 23-161. Do we have any additional comments, concerns, or questions from the elected officials?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
comment, Madam Mayor, before we, can we fix it so she had to come back every 4 years, Belize? Mr. Chairman?
I don't believe that we have put a time limit on this now because this is a renewal, and normally at a renewal time, we do not place a time limit on it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So for clarity, I'm going to be in the clarity police. So for clarity, as long as Ms. Jackson's owns this property and everything is okay, she doesn't have any violations, she does not have to come before the council.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. So if we don't have any other questions outside of that, with Councilmember Davis has raised, all those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-161 is unanimously approved.
And lastly, Madam Mayor, but not least, item H, consider request to adopt a proposed ordinance to amend Section 2.05S of the Unified Development Ordinance for many warehouses. Application by Community Development Department, Ms. Shayla Reed. Ms. Reed?
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good
Shayla
evening.
Reed, Community Development Director at 6701 Church Street. This item came before you last week, and I identified what those provisions would be. And for your Planning Commission a few weeks back, they recommended approval of this item.
Thank you, Ms. Reed. I know we discussed this on Thursday night. I believe it's been properly vetted and changed back and forth several times, additions made and things taken out. Any question or comment? Yes, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. And this, of course, would not apply to any applications that were sent previously before we're getting ready to adopt. But it would go forward with any mini warehouses being in close proximity to each other, the land use, all of that, landscaping. So we put a lot of stipulations. I'm trying to count how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 13, 14, about 20 stipulations in to help us with many warehouses so that we won't have so many in the same area.
That is correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, anyone else? All right, seeing none, make a motion that we approve item 23-245.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved by Councilmember Adams and second by Councilmember Estes to approve item 23-245. Do we have any additional comments, concerns, questions from the elected officials? I don't see anyone concerning have any issues. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-245 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all we have tonight.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on then to the next committee, item 14, which is public. Oh, before we go there, for item B, the vote was 4-2 and 1 abstention. So just making that clear, I know there was so a question mark. So that passed by majority of 4-2 and 1 abstention. Not abstention, but recuse himself. So now we'll move on to item 14, Public Improvement and Beautification Committee, chaired by Councilmember Nicole Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business this evening for public improvement and beautification.
Thank you, ma'am. Public Relations Committee, chaired by Councilmember Howard Estes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The PR Committee has no business this evening.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety Committee, chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I have a couple items. First, item A,
Yes, sir.
consider the application for alcoholic beverage license on the on-premises sale and consumption of wine, malt beverage, spirit liquor at the following establishment. Proposed licensee per SC Holding Group LLC DBA per SC, location 7040 Concourse Parkway, AJ Outlet Manager Brant William. Required fees have been paid in the financial department. Would the applicant please come down? If you're here, please.
Good evening. My name is Brent Williams.
Good evening.
Address is 7040 Concourse Parkway, Douglasville, Georgia.
Okay, Mayor and Council, do we have any additional questions? Before, yes, ma'am, Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir. Was the applicant here on Thursday? Were you here on Thursday?
Yes.
I don't recall. Did you talk to us about your, how you check for legal drinking age and all of that, your procedure?
Yes, we have a company coming in by the name of Tipsy, and they come in and do all the training.
And you train all of your servers and pours and all of that?
Yes.
people?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I apologize. This is a senior moment. I was
Oh,
just making
no
certain.
worries.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Councilman Davis.
Yes, anyone else, Madam Mayor? Yes, are you aware of our policy to food ratio? in
I
alcohol?
believe it's 51% food sales and the other alcohol sales.
That's it?
Yes.
Okay. And we had the public hearing on Thursday. And what exactly is restaurant, lounge, what are we
Restaurant.
bringing?
Restaurant.
Restaurant.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And you know our hours here in our city.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see, anything else? And you did say you was doing hookah, right?
Yes, hookah.
All right, any other questions, Madam Mayor?
This is the old Williamson Brothers building.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I remember. Okay. That's all I had, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Madam Mayor, I make a motion we approve the 23-299, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved by Councilmember the Chair, Councilmember Davis, and second by Councilmember Estes to approve item 23-299. Do we have any other comments, concerns, or questions from the elected officials? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-299 is unanimously approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, moving right along to item B, consider approve of application for open container day permit on the following dates: September 1st, 2nd, 9th, 16th, October 20th, from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Greystone Amphitheater for the grand opening concert series. And I think Ms. Callan have just a little bit, or I can go ahead on and just hear from the mayor and council.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add from the deputy city manager's report from
Okay.
Thursday.
Anything from our mayor and council?
Open
Okay.
container, I do, Councilman Davis, Mr. Chairman, and to our Assistant City Manager. So, Ms. Callan, are they going to, I know we're going to do all this before we open up on the 1st, but are they going to be able to have the wristband and they can purchase from the entertainment district and on-site?
Yes, ma'am.
So the concessions for the concerts, as well as anything from the entertainment district, which is inclusive of Tito's all the way down to Hudson's Barbecue.
Yes, they do have to pour their beverage out before they go into the amphitheater. The only
Okay.
thing you can go into the amphitheater with
With
is
water?
one bottled water, per the
Okay.
policies that were set up a few weeks ago.
By the police department. And so, are we going to have clear backpacks or something? How you know if somebody has water or what, you know?
Major
I'm
Stafford?
just asking.
Clear backpacks.
I'm saying, that's, we have to have clear
Right.
backpacks in
We
some
had
places
Georgia
you go
Dome.
in.
Mercedes
You're going to
Benz.
bring your water, I could have black water, you know, in the glass that has the I mean, you can have colored water bottles, and it may not be water.
True. Major Stafford, do you have anything to comment there?
We going through that.
Security there, and they'll check, make sure people aren't bringing alcohol.
So we can have somebody testing all the bottles?
No, we're not going to test them. So
Okay.
to go
All
back
right.
to this, so to go back to this particular concern, so we are having, so this item that we're voting on is for open container, the permit during the time of the concerts, but to go in the actual facility for the amphitheater, you cannot take alcohol beverages in.
Correct.
But you
That's
can
correct.
purchase there, because we're going to have the bistro tables and all of that for restaurants, so people can have a cocktail or something with dinner at Blue Rose Bistro, wherever, and have open containers going back and forth
Yes, ma'am.
during entertainment district.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. I was just making it clear.
So, Ms. Callum, would the same color wristband would be the same inside of the amphitheater?
I think there's, I do not know the color of the wristbands, but I think once they'll get the wristbands by the managers from the restaurants, and then they'll walk around, and I don't see any reason why they would need to take the wristbands off.
Okay, I want to make sure because it's, you know, every restaurant has the same wristband. So once they get an amphitheater and they get a wristband, it'd be the same as the other ones. So, okay, I want to make sure of that. Okay, any other questions? Okay, if not, I'd like to approve 23-308.
Thank you so much.
Make a motion, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a motion to approve 23-308. Do we have a second, please?
Second.
Ooh, it was dueling seconds. You get it, Ms. Acker, the city clerk, or is Mr. Adams or Mayor Pro Tem? Or Estes? Mayor Pro Tem. It's been properly moved and second, moved by the chair, Councilman Davis, and second by Mayor Pro Tem, Councilmember Terry Miller, to approve item 23-308. Do we have any other conversation? We've had hearty discord about this item. Not having seen anyone else, all those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-308 is unanimously approved.
That's all I have, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on then to Recreation, Culture, and Tourism Committee, chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight in Recreation, Culture, and Tourism.
Thank you, Coach. We'll move on to Technology Committee, chaired by Mayor Pro Tem, City Councilmember Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's no business at this time under the Technology Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Birthday Boy. We'll move on to Transportation Committee, chaired by Councilmember Dr. LaShawn Burdanley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will read the item under transportation.
Yes, ma'am.
After Mr. Thomas. Do you want me to read it first or just let you go first?
Yeah, I can go first instead.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Thomas.
All right. So after further discussion, staff has decided to table this item to the August 17th, August 21st round of council meetings. Basically, just to give the elected officials in that ward time to reach out and express their concerns to the engineering consultant to basically resolve any issues.
The roundabout.
Yes,
Yes,
the roundabout. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Yes, this roundabout was actually discussed and designed prior to the Highway 92 route. So I do agree with the tabling of this item. So I would like to make a motion that item 23-312 be tabled at this time.
Okay, so we tabled to the meetings of, what are our dates, Ms. Catlin? 17th and,
17th and the 21st.
okay. All righty. So we have a motion to table item 23-312 to the meetings of August 17th and 21st, 2023. Do we have any concerns, comments?
I have one, Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Thompson, can you take a tour down, just call me and let me know?
Yes, sir.
And let's take a good look at the location,
Yes, sir.
because it looked like it's be coming through my front door. Okay? Thank you.
So I know we didn't have a second, so we were talking about, and the turnabout area is near Stewart Middle School, correct?
That is correct.
So in that area, and you're going to have a town hall meeting or some kind of information so that the citizenry can come in and have a conversation to understand where the turnabout is going to take place.
I believe Mr. Thompson is setting up, we'll be setting up different meetings so the community can weigh in on it.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
And
He
that's
has
a
to.
comment.
Yeah, and if I may make comments, last week we did have the community to weigh in very heavily on this. So with the tabled item that I'll be discussing with our city manager and Mr. Thompson later. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Dr. Bird Danley. We appreciate that as a transportation chair. So we do have a motion to table item 23-312 to the meetings of August 17th and 21st, 2023. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. It's been properly moved and second, moved by the chair, Councilmember Dr. Bird Danley, and second by Mayor Pro Tem Miller to table this item. All those in favor of tabling? Oh, yes, I apologize.
Thank you,
Councilman
Madam Mayor.
Adams.
I just have a question. Is there a time limit, Mr. Thompson, that we are required to get back to the DOT with approval and support? Or are we running against a deadline there that may cause this project to be abandoned altogether if we don't act on it between now and then?
Well, I spoke with our representatives from GDOT earlier today. So this item right here that's in front of you guys this evening is not a major milestone item.
Okay.
So we do have time to.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure whether we decided to go with it or not go with it. I just want to make sure we're not jeopardizing the opportunity.
Because there's still some items that Croy Engineering is addressing
Thank
for
you.
GDOT, so.
Thank you very much. That's all, Madam Mayor. Thanks.
Point well taken, Councilman Adams. I know we lost another project because we missed a time frame on Chapel Hill Road. I have ARC this week, Wednesday, so, and I'm over transportation, so we'll see what's going on. Any other comments from council? Not seeing any. All those in favor of tabling this item to the meetings of the 17th and 21st of August, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 23-312 is tabled to the meetings of August 17th and 21st, 2023. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. That all you have, Madam Chair?
That's it, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Dr. Bird Danley. Any other business to come before council tonight from the elected officials? Okay, I don't see any. Then we'll move on to updates from our city staff. Our city attorney, Mr. Joel Dotson.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Our staff attorney, Ms. Miranda Jordan, isn't here. Our police department, Mr. Stafford.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Major Stafford. Our assistant city manager, Ms. Karen Callen.
No additional business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, and thank you for the report that we'll see tomorrow as far as the homestead is related, concerned for the city of Douglasville. Now we have come to the part from comments from citizens and delegates. If you all sustain the meeting and you'd like to speak to us, please come forward and give us your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes to talk to us about any business germane to the city of Douglasville. So if you'd like to come forward, please do at this time. You should have filled out a speaker card, and you can hand that speaker card to our city clerk. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. My name is Shauna Lawrence. My address is 8749 Danley Drive. And I wanted to speak in regards to the development on Slater Mill.
Yes, ma'am.
So I am the HOA president, and we have been in conversation with the developers. And one of the things, or several of the things that we talked about was the entrance to the subdivision being directly across from ours. So we raised concern about the amount of traffic, Our community, we have several families, and so the concern with school buses and things like that. The other thing is that we raise concerns, since it is directly across from ours, if the entrance is directly across from ours, that we wanted the community to be a gated community, because most of the other communities in the area are gated communities. So we just wanted it to, you know, fit in with the rest of the community. And then the other concern are the amenities, the fact that there are no amenities in the community. And so again, just to be in line with the other communities in the area, we had raised concern about there being like tennis courts, swimming pools and things like that, that they have their own community amenities.
Yes, ma'am. Now, we did have a lengthy conversation at our work session. This was a different meeting. It was a voting meeting, so we didn't have the public hearing as we'd had it previously. And for the zoning portion, when the zoning board meeting met, members met for planning development. So, but I believe all those issues were discussed and have been put into the plans. There were stipulations for that development, and so all those concerns were met during that, if you read through the stipulations. So the traffic did not warrant, it comes a certain count for traffic. It did not warrant to have another traffic study done. And I believe the gates and all of that have been addressed. But once it's approved, or you can look at the minutes and see what the stipulations were for that development.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
And thank you for your comments. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other comments from citizens and delegates? We welcome you to come forward. You have 5 minutes to talk to us about anything germane to the city of Douglasville. You fill out the speaker card? Yes, sir. We just need to have your name and address for the record. Good evening.
Good evening, esteemed members of the council and Mayor Robinson. My name is Barney Young Jr., and I'm a resident of this beautiful community and a candidate for City Council, Ward 2, Seat 2. I stand before you tonight carrying a sense of disappointment from the decision taken tonight. When Bright Star Connector was proposed back originally, many of us saw a vision of a vibrant commercial area that perfectly complemented our residential spaces. This recent rezoning approval for further warehouse development, I must admit, has significantly diverted us from that vision. I want to stress the inevitable increase in truck traffic that these warehouses will bring. This not only affects our daily commutes and raises safety concerns. I'm in traffic with trucks daily, and they haven't even built half of the warehouses yet. But it also has a substantial impact on the quality of our roads. Roads that were not designed to handle heavy industrial traffic are now tasked with bearing the burden, leading to accelerated wear and tear and more frequent costly repairs. So I challenge you to go down Bright Star Connector, and you'll start to see some of the road just getting bad. Moreover, the environmental repercussions of the increased traffic are substantial and cannot be ignored. Our community deserves clean air free of unnecessary pollutants. I stand here not as a critic, but as a concerned citizen and aspiring council member, disappointed that the community's views seem to have been given less weightage than they deserve. We're not against growth. We're for balanced, sustainable, and community-centric growth. The question we must ask ourselves is whether more warehouses align with that vision. But on Bright Star Connector, there's no more room, so it doesn't really. Despite tonight's approval, I remain hopeful. I believe we can make decisions that reflect the heart of our community and the aspirations of our residents. I look forward to seeing our community flourish in a way that aligns with the hopes of its people, maintaining our road quality, our safety, and our environment. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Young, for your comments. We appreciate it. Any other comments from citizens and delegates?
My name is.
Good evening,
excuse
Mr.
me.
Harris.
My name is Kelvin Harris, 6637 Copper Court, Douglasville, Georgia, 30134, Avalon Subdivision, established 2002. First of all, I want to say thank you, Mayor, City Council member. But I am very, very disappointed. I'm weeping, I'm mad, because it seems like New Horizons just keep getting stepped on. I trust in the leadership that I always have in front of me, whether I agree with it or not. Mr. Sam Davis, I want to thank you.
Mr. Harris.
I just want to say it, I just want to thank him because it was a conflict of interest on the vote.
Okay, I was going to say, you're not going to do personal attacks. I thought you were going to call him out.
No personal attacks with me, it's strictly personal. I want to thank you for taking yourself out the equator. Dr. Danton, you could have took yourself out the equator, but I respect your decision. But the other people in here, I asked 2 weeks ago to go look at this area. 3 of y'all already know what this area looked like, but don't nobody seem to care about this side of the track. It's a problem. One thing I understand that the power and duties of a council member are to empower to make political policy decisions and to approve ordinance, resolution, and other local legislation to govern the health, welfare, comfort, and safety of the city residents, not the builders. You got roles and responsibilities. Include identifying problems and needs within the community and establishing community goals and objectives to meet those needs. You haven't done it. You haven't. Where do we go from here? From the north side of town. Do we have anything to protect us from this happening again? That private builders, a private landowner can do what they want to do with their property, to crush over home builders, people that lives in homes. What have y'all come up to stop that? We need to know. It's an election coming. And everybody gonna hear New Horizons because we keep getting left out. I respect the builder that did the stuff with Slater Mill, and I stayed here last week. That man went out his way to meet the community. I applaud that gentleman. It don't be done on the north side of the track. Mayor, I give you the problem. You have done what you tried to do, and you can do what you only can do. But I want every one of you council members to understand, just because you don't live on this side of the track, you still got to have a heart to care what other people's doing and won't. You don't listen. All I asked for y'all to do was to go over there and look at that area.
Mr. Harris.
Mayor, I got to say this.
Mr., you don't know if people went over there or not.
Ain't nobody went. I'm over there 85% of the time. But I got to say this.
Because you're getting right on the line for personal attacks.
I'm not attacking nobody. I'm just telling the truth. See, I used to ask the question, why did Sandy Springs separate? Dunwood is separated. Might be time for New Horizons to separate. Because we're not getting no benefits. You're taking our tax money that's being spent everywhere else but on the track. I've been on this side of the track 20+ years. And the only thing we got is a sidewalk and a liquor store. Is that progress? No, it's not. Chapel Hill, from the Arby's all the way to Audis, is 68 boutiques. 68. Go a little bit further till you get to the Kroger, it's another 37. I counted by myself. Is that fair? Is that fair to the north side? No, it's not. I'm asking y'all, I'm pleading with y'all to find a way to get developers on that side of the track. Y'all have a nice day.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Just not in response to your concerns, but just as a state, and a lot of times it's a different person's perspective.
Yes, ma'am.
And I can't tell you what your perspective is because we all have opinions, but factually, this council has been very diligent with addressing needs all over the entire city of Douglasville. And as I stated before, it's been laser focused with the New Horizons community, with having a North Side study review done. There is new development going up right now, and I can't remember the apartment complex, but it's much needed. Mill Village renovations, Jesse Davis, $25 million in Jesse Davis Park. When I came to the New Horizons meeting, I showed a list of streets that have been resurfaced from 2016 until now, and that's inclusive of $6.2 million that have been put into resurfacing of streets. So the city's responsibility, of course, is to pick up trash and provide services. And if a developer comes in and meets a need and has done everything that is within the city codes to do, they have a right to build. And so if we see a concern, like we have seen with the many storage warehouses, we've addressed it. Even in this same meeting, it was item number H, consider a request to adopt proposal ordinance to amend Unified Development Ordinance for many warehouses. There were 22 stipulations in that ordinance that was passed tonight that would prevent storage warehouses from packing up in the community. So a lot of your concerns were addressed. I understand you're passionate, and I'm not taking anything away from you, but factually, those are the facts on the table.
respect
So
that.
you have your perspective.
I respect that, ma'am,
Yes, sir.
but you understand.
And we're not gonna argue, we're just
I'm not
gonna
gonna
say.
argue. I'm just saying that I just be straightforward. I always ask for record requests. You know what I'm saying? We've been bamboozled so much. Even the apartments, we was bamboozled. All I'm saying is, when a contractor get any kind of bids or whatever, they find a loophole to divert from what they supposed to do. That's all I'm saying. I have paperwork. Even the apartments, they diverted from that. So,
Yes, sir. But the meetings were had about the apartment complex, and the government can only do what a government can do. So if someone changes the requirements, if it's within GDOT or the Urban Community Services or Department of Community Affairs, that's a state level. The city we don't have a responsibility, we don't have anything to do with that. I mean, our hands are tied. So as far as the city is concerned, we have been forthright and honest with the citizens and the New Horizons and all over the city of Douglasville. So I just take issue with the community's been left out, no one's talked to you, no one's done anything, because that is just,
no, I didn't say no
factually, it
one.
isn't true.
I'm just saying that it speaks for itself. I didn't say no one talked to us. He refused to show up. Ms. Dantley said that last Thursday.
It's up to, the city can't make a developer
But I'm just saying,
come to
I don't
the
want
meeting.
y'all to feel that I'm saying, I don't want the interpretation to be wrong. I want it to be correct. I didn't say, it was the builder.
But you're saying it against the council like we've done something. We can't make a
Well,
developer come or anyone
All
come
I'm
and
just saying,
talk
I'm
to you.
asking y'all, what are y'all gonna have in the spot to keep this from happening to us again? That's all
We
I
can't
ask.
make a developer talk to the community.
Not
And
only the
and the
developer.
government can't make that a stipulation. That's against the law. You can't make a developer talk to anyone. You just can't. They can do it if they want to, of their free will, but we can't, as a government, we can't say to come in this community or develop here, you have to go talk to the people.
I understand. I'm just saying
Okay.
this with the zoning part. That's all I'm saying. about the
Yes,
zoning.
sir. Yes, sir. Any other comments from citizens and delegates? Hey, good evening, Mr. Caldwell.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of council. I'm DeVitran Caldwell, Vice Chair of the Douglas County Board of Education.
Yes, sir.
Homegrown, I'm from Douglas County. And so I concur with New Horizons community. I'm in this community, and so maybe I can offer a different perspective from the elected body, right? I understand what it's like to make hard decisions. I understand what it's like to have to vote on behalf of the community and not specifically for a district. But I think what is very evident and what is very clear is that the New Horizons community has said time and time again, we feel left out, we feel slighted. They continue to have meetings. I've been a part of those meetings. We had meetings with the city. We talked to developers about the potential of what could go in that community. And then here it is, another storage facility is voted and approved. So when we talk about limited access, we talk about that there's limited land in the New Horizons community, we talk about all of the limitations. How is it that as a elected body, we know the limitations, and there's an expectation for this New Horizons community to come in and tell the city exactly what they want, but when it comes down to it, it's limited space, but there's something else offered that the community does not need. And so I see time and time again that the community continues to fight. They continue to have meetings, stakeholder engagement, et cetera, but the community is still not getting what the community needs. I understand the improvements at Jesse Davis Park, et cetera, but a lot of that stuff was already necessary. It needed to be done. And so now here it is, we continue to talk about what's being done, but the community is saying, we have said this is what we need, this is what we feel like we need in comparison to what's over at Chapel Hill Road, in comparison to other areas. And so it's said, yes, we hear you, we give you this, but then we take away because we add something else that you don't really need. So all I'm saying is that the community is very clear. It's a very powerful voting bloc. They can galvanize, et cetera. But what they're saying is that, listen, we just want our community to look like the rest of Douglasville. And I understand what that looks like from an elected perspective. I understand when we have to allocate resources in certain districts because it has been continuously underserved. I grew up in this area. I can tell you from a child what that area has looked like. And to be honest with you, I am 32 years old. I grew up in that area. There's really not much change. It just really isn't. And so I understand that from the elected perspective. And the reason I can say that is because I came to the Douglas County Board of Education in the same underserved area, and we have fought tirelessly to make sure that if an area was underserved, we allocated more resources to make sure that we can meet the needs. If we needed whatever we needed in those districts, that's what we have tried to do. But the New Horizons community have said time and time again, we deserve more, we want more. And I'm unsure that everyone up here understands that. I don't think that everybody understands that. And I'm not saying this as a personal attack. I'm only saying this as my colleagues. We have to do better as a city, as a county, as a governing body to make sure that we are constantly meeting the needs of what our community needs. So if it doesn't make sense, we don't need to vote for it, regardless of if they meet the scope, et cetera. If the community is saying, guess what? We don't want this, because they meet that need does not mean that it has to get your vote. And so just because they meet the scope, they have all the requirements, that don't mean that you have to vote. And so even if you can't vote it down, you do have a vote to stand and say, guess what? Because my community does not want it, I'm not going to vote for it. Thank you all for all your time and everything that you do.
Thank you, thank you. No outbursts, no outbursts. So, Mr. Caldwell, again, just for clarity, the city is not a developer.
I understand.
So we set the environment for developers to come by beautification, by adopting streets, fixing broken lights, picking up trash, developing the parks, making roads beautiful, allowing subdivisions, the Gateway subdivision to come in, new development for apartments for seniors and people that have an income requirement, and by having a North Side study with the community and saying everything that people want. So then it's up to the Development Authority and private developers who own the land to come and develop personal and particular businesses. So the city of the government is not a developer. Developers come in.
I understand that, but what I do also understand is that as elected officials, and whether you have a vote, you do have a voice, right?
Exactly.
And so even for the elected officials, what I'm saying is that when things come up, regardless of the cities, if the city can't do certain things, nothing gets approved without a vote. So
Right.
all I'm saying is that we each individually represent districts, ward, et cetera. And so all I'm saying is that if we want Chapel Hill to look a certain way, we gotta want New Horizons, and that's simply by a vote. So all I'm saying is that these votes matter, and nothing gets approved without the vote. And so if we know that this area is underserved, as a colleague, guess what? I need to help my colleague out, because ultimately, I'm helping my community. That's all I'm saying.
And thank you so much, we appreciate
Thank you.
that. Any other comments from citizens and delegates? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Lieutenant, you can.
Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Lark. I'm part of the Slater Mill Community at 8716 Hamill Court. I just have a simple request, and I didn't get a chance to coordinate it with my HOA president, but is it possible to get an extended courtesy from yourself, Mayor, and the City Council to make available your code enforcement and your police department to come periodically to our HOA meetings to give us updates as the bill is occurring on Slater Mill Road so we can voice any potential concerns that we may have?
Now, what are you asking again, Colonel Lark?
So as they're building the new development on Slater Mill across from our subdivision.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible to get a commitment from you guys to maybe give us a courtesy of allowing your code enforcement folks and someone from your police department to give us periodic updates on the bill or to be a part of our Slater Mill Association meetings so we can voice our concerns during the bill process? I'm not sure how long the bill process is going to last, but I'm pretty sure, given the amount of traffic, we are going to have some concerns, and we just like to have an avenue to voice those concerns through your support staff.
We have quarterly reports from community development from code enforcement, and we have an environmental court. And I've been to HOA subdivision meetings with Chief Sparks. So certainly you can put a request in, and we'll pass it on. Major Stafford is here tonight, and we'll make certain that someone comes and talk. And all you have to do is request for the police department, but we can't have an officer, stationed or at a HOA meeting all the time. Just whenever you request it, we'll be happy to come. Major Stafford.
So chairs are willing to work with us on that?
Yes, sir,
Okay.
definitely.
All right.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir. Any other comments from citizens and delegates? No? All right, this has been hearty conversation. This makes government work. So we appreciate do you have a comment, Councilman Adams? All right. Okay, so I believe that's it. If we don't have any other comments from citizens and delegates, we don't have any other concerns, I make a motion that we adjourn. There's been motion and second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. This meeting is adjourned.